Let's get to CBS2's Dave Carlin. He is with a neighborhood resident right now. Dave, what did that resident have to say?
I'm going to let you hear it from his own mouth, in his own words, in a moment, but we came to the roof of his apartment building here on William Street, and take a look. Take a look at what he can see out of his window, but we decided from the roof we'd have a better chance of getting the view that you're seeing now. It's a very difficult view. I think it's difficult for the residents of this building, and you're going to hear from Mike Carrillo in a minute because, you know, what he went through hearing this, as you can imagine, it was loud and there was smoke, and he's got his kids with him, and we just want to give you another sort of scan of what you're looking at because you can see what has collapsed there, and you can also see cars buried, and you know, so without a big, long introduction, Mike, if you could come over here and give us a sense of what we're looking at and what you've been through.
Sure. This is a parking garage on Ann Street. It's been there at least as long as I've been living here, and we could see it outside our kitchen window. I was on a Zoom call when I heard a loud thunderous sound, and it sounded like a really bad thunderstorm, and then I felt the building swaying, and it was a prolonged sway.
Really? The building was... You describe it as swaying. So not like jumping up and down, but sort of a sway.
Yeah, back and forth. And, you know, I had been here like during earthquakes or whatever, so I kind of used to it, but this was a little bit longer than normal. And then I turned and looked out the window towards this, and I just saw smoke coming up, or debris or dirt. And that's when I grabbed my son. I said, "Get your shoes on," and we ran down the stairs.
And your son is up here with us?
Yes, my son's
right there.
Yeah.
And how old is he? We'll talk. Maybe we'll talk.
He just turned 14, so.
Yeah, let's come over here to this side, and let's be careful because you said it's kind of treacherous up here.
Yeah.
Get a little different look. We've seen a lot of activity on top of that roof there, but now it's kind of thinned out. Did you notice a lot of people on the top of that rooftop?
Absolutely.
Right there, straight across. One gentleman's there, but.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually saw a drone flying over here to survey the area, and we later learned that I believe is a fire department drone. We saw police officers and firemen on this building. They were going up the stairs. We've seen police officers and firemen on that building as well. When we ran outside, I saw a bunch of counterterrorism police coming out and coming around the corner right away. I also saw a fire engine. We have one right around the corner. And there was a gentleman actually on the front of this building. There is a external fire escape, and there's a gentleman on top of it. And I kind of walked up the street a little bit, but there were a few people there, and the citizens or whoever, they took a truck and they drove it up to him because he was kind of stranded on this fire escape. He couldn't get down.
Wow. Okay. If our photographer, Eric, do you think you can pull over to this far corner over here? Because it's over here that we see a hole and some vehicles, one vehicle almost on its side there.
Yeah.
That's the view from your window. It's a little bit better from your window, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say better, and you can also see there's bricks and there's some cars that are buried from the parking garage. There's a parking garage on the other side of the street, and some of that wall looks like, to me, that wall should be, you see how high it is. It looks like it collapsed about a good floor, and all those bricks landed on some of the cars over there too. So yeah, that looks like, and you could even see some of the bricks over here in the backyard to the Pace dormitories, and I even saw some of the bricks on the window shelves on the outside. So definitely the bricks came out in a
flying out, basically, like an explosion type of impact.
Yeah.
You know, we were coming up the elevator for you to bring me here, which we do appreciate. You did say this is tough, knowing we've lost life. And we have people injured.
Yeah, I mean,
how are you dealing with it? I mean,
yeah, that's the worst part. Obviously, you don't want to see somebody hurt. It was heartwarming to see the drivers of that. There was a guy stranded on the fire escape. To see citizens pull up, what looked like citizens pull up in a truck and get him down off of there. We did see an ambulance pull someone away in a gurney. So you know, it was good to see that. You know, they responded so quickly. The police, the fire department, emergency services, they were all here very quickly, and it looks like, you know, they did the best that they could to minimize any kind of, you know, damage or loss of life to people.
And living here in the financial district for a very long time, you say it evokes thoughts of another terrible thing, and
Yeah, I mean, we used to be able to see the World Trade Center from our apartment, and we were here. My wife actually was here that day. I came later in the day, and I was here when 7 World Trade Center collapsed, and it kind of evoked those feelings. That's why I knew right away I had to run outside, get out, and even as I was going down, I was a little bit afraid, like, what if there's something going on outside that to be fearful of? But I was like, it's probably better that way. Just get outside, evaluate, and then feel what's going on. But I do have those kind of memories, you know.
Tell me about evaluating. Once you got downstairs, and let's take a look over the edge here again, carefully, for everybody. Yeah, you got down there with your son.
Yep.
And you were just, did you go a couple of blocks away, or did you stay right underneath, or did you what route did you take? And you are back in your home, so at some point you decided I should go home.
I'll be honest, I did run around like a chicken without a head for a bit. We went across the street and back or whatever, and then we saw some people, and that's when they told us that this had collapsed. That there was some building collapse on Ann Street, and that's when I ran around the corner on Ann Street. I also had to tell my son, like, wait outside our house, because our daughter was coming home around that time. Make sure she doesn't go up. You stay there. I'm going to go around the corner and look. And that's when I ran around the corner, and I saw the guy on the fire escape kind of like stuck there. And that's when the people started coming up with the car. And I kind of went halfway up that block. But I even saw at that time there were bricks falling out of the building. And I said, I'm not getting, you know, there's some people there. There's a fire department around the corner. There's people that can handle this. I don't need to, you know, get any closer. The person looks okay. They did get him down. And that's when I went around the corner and I said, it's better to let professionals take care of it.
And right now, you know, that does not look like a stable situation. I don't know what this means for you going forward, living so close to it.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of the, you know, post-September 11th, where we had, you know, neighborhoods, there was debris on the ground, there were streets that were closed down, and I'm sure the street will be closed off for, I walk down the street pretty much every day to go to the gym right around the corner. I pass this garage. I've spoken to some of the gentlemen that work there. You know, it's going to be closed down. I know I can't go down that street. I just hope that they can, you know, do it safely and, you know, in a way that can get the neighborhood back up and going.
I really appreciate you taking this time to talk to us.
Sure.
And I'm glad everybody's okay in this building. Yeah. And of course our hearts go out to those who are hurt and those who are hurting.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm just happy that my family's here and safe, and I just wish everyone else could have the same.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
And that is the situation here. We'll sign off with one last look over here. Dave, it is a sobering scene.
It really is, Dave. Thanks so much. I mean, if we could just hold that picture for a couple of seconds, it really does give you PTSD when you think about 9/11. Once again, this is a neighborhood that lived through that trauma, and you know, at every sound and every you know, boom, if it's a truck bouncing through the road, you sort of, you know, it makes you sit upright. And this, one more time, this is what it is.